Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport. So here we are at last doing the final test run of the GèGè belt drive locomotive, the SNCF BB9240. I refitted the body today. The body is fitted on with clips on. These let's see if we can get a pointer. Is there a pointer? Here's a toothpick. Okay. You clip it on. It's quite a tight fit. You have to be careful, use levers and things to get it on, and we'll eventually take it off again and do the job on the pantograph and so on. But I also want to do some detailing, like with a very fine nib pen, to do the aluminium numbers here and do some improvements. So with I'll be doing that, but not when I've got the board up. Okay, so we're actually going to test it with the body on, and we're also going to run a train, quite a heavy train with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 carriages, and they're all 7 relatively modern carriages you would have seen in the 70s and the 80s. Some might be still around even to this date, of course in different liveries. I don't have any, but we'll see them in detail now. But let's talk about the locomotive first. So, prototypically when running, there should be the rear pantograph is up and the one in front is down. These don't go down, it's made of wire, so that's that. So let's have a look. Very smooth running, very controllable on the mechanical controller. When it goes in one direction, it's a bit more growly, but perfectly controllable. You can see the elastics moving position, elastic bands moving position on the drive shafts. So let's go and couple up. I would say we can couple up to the train. I like it because it's very, very controllable. It's very, you can do a good crawler. Okay, it couples up perfectly to Lima models. Lima, it's the carriages are mainly Lima, but now I'll introduce you the train in detail. So I'm going a bit of wheel slip there. I'm going at less than 50%. So the train is formed by 6 carriages. Let's get here in the sort of grandstand view position here. And by the way, behind the GèGè locomotive, the BB9240 of SNCF, you can see my very first electric locomotive, my Italian State Railways E656, and we'll dedicate a video to this. This is still as it was. It's not even, I've not even done any improvement. I've not painted the pantographs red as it should be. It's as it was, new in 1979. And we'll actually go through this. I want to do a spot of detailing as well, but a very, very nice locomotive. Of course, it's been serviced and everything, but let's not waste time talking about that. Let's talk about but I wanted to put it in the background just to have first of all, I'd never introduced the E656, and also to make a comparison between a Lima electric locomotive of the 70s, where we already see Lima was very good at making diesels and electrics. So we've got a good body molding with quite a lot of details and so on. GèGè isn't bad. It belongs to another era. Of course, the pantographs are completely different. I would like to find some more realistic pantographs for this. I would improve things no end, considering it's such a nice moulding. Anyway, let's have a look at the train. We have an Italian luggage car, Italian State Railways, Italian first class carriage, Italian second class carriage, in very 1980s in this livery, 70s and 80s, an Italian self-service buffet car, These are actually still in service on the intercity trains nowadays. They've been modernised. We have a sleeping wagon. Then we have an Austrian carriage of the Austrian Federal Railways, ÖBB. This is a Kleinbahn. I was given this as a present for Christmas when I was 9, I think 9 or 10. And then we bring up the rear with a GèGè SNCF first class carriage, which was a very basic version with no interior, no glazing on the windows, no weight inside, and I added tire weights to make it more stable. I added glazing, and I gave it the general. I spruced it up a bit because it was really very, very basic. I got it when I bought I think a couple of other carriages, and I got this one here along with them. Anyway, and it's good for the sort of more. Well, I never remember all the various periods. But let's say it's okay for the 70s and 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. So anyway, this is my railway and I decide. Okay, very well. Let's let the train speak. A GèGè is a very good locomotive, absolutely. I'm running at 50% realistic speed. You need a bit of rumble over there, the point where there's a length of rail where the flanges touch the sleeper shoes. Slowing down, I'm under 50 now. It's got great torque. Let's turn it up. A little bit too fast for good footage. This could go around all day, this locomotive, round and round and round and round. Just watch it with the loads over the points. It's not stuttering at all, no problem at all. I'm not going into any stations because at the moment, but I'm going at less than 50% on the controller. Look at that. Less than 50%. Mechanical controller is fantastic. So that was our test run with the locomotive complete after a lot of work, a lot of drama when I got the rubber bands on the wrong way around. That was clever. And I can say it's honestly, I enjoyed myself thoroughly working with this locomotive, and I'd definitely like to know what you think about it now. And if you want something different for your layout, if you want to try something else, something really vintage, something where from model railways you're sort of delving into the sort of missing link between toy trains and model trains. That's what I always like. And or I like these locomotives where the toy was still, the model trains were also a toy, a very well detailed toy, a toy both for children and a model for adults, you understand, more or less like everything that's on this layout. And these were the trains that brought people into the hobby, and they still have a following. So that's it. So, but that's a bit too much talking on my behalf. I hope you enjoyed the video. Of course, you can click the notification bell, give a like to the video if you liked it, tell me your opinions in the comments, and subscribe to the channel, which is very useful. And I think we'll give this fantastic rubber belt driven locomotive a lap of honour, and we'll call it a day, because it's 10:25 and I'm beginning to be a bit on the sleepy side. Okay, let's go. And we have to admit that GèGè, despite all the complexity of the design, they got it right. The rubber belt drive is very good performance. The motor is very powerful, lots of torque. Excellent all-wheel drive and all-wheel pickup system. And they didn't have to spend a lot of money in making gears. Yes, that's it. So, not a bad idea. And it's just sailing round at 50%. No stress. Okay. Cheerio, and see you next time. Ciao, ciao.